Hey there, good morning and welcome to Prog Monster. My name is Murph and I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock, hard rock, heavy metal, and other forms of rock music. And of course, some music other than rock. So today, this is our This Week, episode 10 of This Week, which will come out today for the week of September the 11th through to the 17th. Okay, so in actual fact, there will be one of the videos that I'm going to mention today that will come out on the 18th, and I'll announce it on my next This Week too. The only reason I'm telling you now is because if I tell you then, it's going to come out the same day. I won't have any time to really know about it, so that's the reason for that. Okay, so we've got some interesting stuff I think this week. 13 videos in all. 7 from the series, and then a further 6 for the shows that I do. Well, actually, this one is one of them, so there'll only be 12 more. New series coming out, which will be bi-weekly for now. It may go to weekly if I have time. That's one of my subscribers gave me an idea for a new show in which he's going to participate. This is Ben. And Ben knows who he is. So anyways, this show will come out Sunday evening at around 8 o'clock. It's going to be called Ben's Challenge. So Ben is going to give me an album every week, and or every bi-weekly, and I will listen to it 4 or 5 times and then give him my opinion about the album and whether I like it or don't like it. So the reason I'm telling you about it now is because that show will air on Sunday nights, which means if I don't tell you to the week that it's going to happen, which would be next Sunday, which is the day that I usually do This Week, you'll only know about it for a few hours before it comes out. It's not really enough time to really, not enough notice, I think. So anyway, so the first album he's going to give me is Journey's debut album. I've only listened to it once. My initial response, well, I want to paraphrase this, or I want to kind of qualify it, I guess. I'm not a huge fan of North American progressive rock, Rush being the exception to that. But generally speaking, I'm not a huge fan of it. The reason being is that it tends to be a lot of instrumentation solos and different type of solos, and a lot of that tied together by little strings. That's what I call it. I think this affects the overall production of the song and the continuity of the song. So it's just, to me, it's just kind of like what the Allman Brothers do with jam sessions. And I don't mind that, don't get me wrong, but it's not going to be among my favorite stuff because of that. So, but I am prepared to maybe give this album a full review, which means that I will listen to it the full 4 or 5 times that I normally do, because I find my initial reaction, well, sometimes it's right on, sometimes it is, most of the time it isn't, you know. So my initial reaction to the album was that it fits into the parameters that I just gave you. But of course, I'm going to listen to it again and again, and maybe it'll change its mind. And the reason my reaction might appear negative to you is because I had the same reaction with Kansas. I've had the same reaction with ELO, and I'm sure there's other bands that I have that I've had this reaction to. Now, some people might say Blue Oyster Cult would fit into this category too, but Blue Oyster Cult's a bit different. I never thought of them as a progressive rock band, although they do have that progressive element. I more think of them as kind of a hard rock pop band, although people label them as heavy metals. But anyways, that's a lot of description for this particular show, and I'm going to talk about it again in a few minutes, but I want to go through this one video at a time, and we'll start with the Monday night look back at a classic rock album. I had to actually change the one I had because I had forgot that I had done the one that I was going to do. So today we're going to do one of the oldest albums in my collection. It's probably among the first 4 or 5 CDs that I owned. It's cracked a bit. It's called Wind and the Wuthering from Genesis. You see the big crack across the top. The album itself, I'm not sure. It's not actually in that bad a condition. I love this album. This was my first Genesis album. Not my favorite, but I got 2 roughly a week or so apart. This was one, and Trick of the Tail was the other. So my Genesis starts with Phil Collins as the vocalist, so I didn't know any difference, which is good because then I don't have that preconceived idea. I've since gone back and listed all the Peter Gabriel stuff, which I like a lot. But for me, the original Genesis was Phil Collins, and this is maybe, the thing about this album is that it may be the last really full progressive album by Genesis, and it's a great one. So we'll be doing this on the look back at a classic rock album on Monday night. I look forward to doing this. It's a great album. Okay, so the next show that we do is usually Wednesday night favorites, and this week we're going to do what I was going to do last week and changed my mind at the last minute and decided that I would put this off for another week. And we're going to do a Neil Young top 10 songs of Neil Young. Now, Neil Young has a bucket load of albums from all kinds of sources. I don't own all of them. I may never own all of them. I have about 5 or 6 that I like quite a bit that I'm listening to, and I will get more as we go along, but I decided that he's one of my favorite artists, so he needs to have a top 10 songs here, even if they are eventually will all change as I listen to more and more of his stuff. But and I chose this album as a representation because it's probably my favorite Neil Young album. It might be, I'm not sure. Anyway, so we'll be doing Neil Young top 10 songs on Wednesday night. The live show, which comes out Friday Night Live Experience, I decided to do this album. I've listened to it in its entirety, and it's pretty much what you would expect. It's called Serious Hits, so it has all of his pop hits and his ballads. So if you don't like pop hits and ballads, do not listen to this album. But some of his pop hits I like quite a bit. He's got like lots of them on here. Well, the whole album pretty much is. My friend DB said it's a hits album, so they're all hits, right? So yeah, so a lot of pretty good solid stuff on here. Phil's singing very well on here. They try to pass this as a live album. I don't really know if it is. They have a lot of cheering at the beginning and a lot of cheering at the end. Not much in the middle, so to me that smarts of dubbing in the vocal part just to enhance the album. So that's to me what it is. But it's a greatest hits album with some live things at the beginning and end. But still, nevertheless, really, if you like Phil Collins hits, great album. Okay, so then the last show of the Saturday morning show, which is music other than rock. This one I had a bit of difficulty deciding on what to do. I had a couple people in mind, but I realized that when I was out yesterday, I was looking around. I saw one of the guys I wanted to do, but it was the only thing I seen in the whole store, so I didn't even bother. There's a big lineup. I just said, no, I'll get it next time I come, and that was Bing Crosby. But so that will have to be put on the shelf. So then I had to figure out what else, and I had a couple of other people in mind, but since I did Rihanna recently, I didn't want to do any more pop stars. So I decided to pick an obscure band that not many people will like here. I liked them as a kid because it was always sing along, and they were very Irish, which I am as well. So I chose the Irish Rovers. And we'll just talk a bit about their music, and it's folky. It's very folky music. My daughter hates this stuff. Hates it with a passion. But I'm going to do it anyways. I figured I'd give the Irish Rovers some due. Okay, so, and then of course now we're back to the Sunday night show, which will be Ben's Challenge. Ben has picked out an album for me, as I've said, Journey's debut album, which is very progressive. Nothing like, if you're a Journey fan, you've been listening to Journey's pop stuff, like my daughter likes Journey a lot, she will not like this album. It's very progressive, and, you know, and to be honest, it doesn't really sound like Journey at all, but I will give it a full 4 or 5 listens and then give it a proper review, a proper classic album review. I don't know much about it other than it's progressive. From my first impressions of it, has a ton of guitar work, and Ainsley Dunn's bars off the charts here on this album, and Neil Scott is probably off the charts as well. Keyboards, the keyboards is okay, the vocals are okay, bass is pretty good, yeah, so, you know, instrumentally wise it's going to get top marks, but whether they can tie all this together into something cohesive and progressive to my liking, I suspect not, but I will give it an open mind and try to do it anyways. Okay, so that's enough of that. So that will come out Sunday night. That's the reason I'm doing it this week, is because it's just not enough time between this week's debut, which is what we're doing right now, and when it will come out, which would be in 2 or 3 hours. Now, this particular episode will not come out till the following week. Gives me a week to listen to the album. I've listened to it once entirely. Okay, on to my series. We have several. I wasn't going to do this, and I'm debating even now whether I should. Last week I didn't tell you who the artists were to kind of make it a surprise, but I'm not sure if I want to go that route. I'm debating it at the moment. Anyways, I have 7 good artists. I have the CDs representing them all here, but I think I'm not going to tell you. I think I'm going to leave it as a surprise. I think that worked out better last week than the first week. Some pretty notable people. I don't see anybody here who most people wouldn't know or have heard of. There's a couple of Canadian artists here that, you know, maybe American people or other people outside of Canada wouldn't maybe know, but I doubt that. I'm pretty sure they're both known as well. And you know, I tried to mix it up a bit too. I did try to do it in sequence of importance, but, you know, I look at the guy coming in at number, which would be 17th, and the guy who's coming in 11th. There's not really much space between those two, so all these could just flip right around. Anyways, it looks like I chose one group, 3 vocalists, and 1, 2, and possibly one of the vocalists is a guitarist as well, so maybe 3 guitarists, 3 vocalists, and 1 group, and one, I can't tell you what their thing is because it might give it away. So anyways, we're going to do them this week, 1 a day, Monday to Friday. I believe they will all be at 8 o'clock in the morning. And then the 2 weekend ones, I kind of move them around a bit because I have other things like music other than rock, which comes out. I try to get it out at 8 in the morning, so I don't want 2 at the same time, so the other one usually moves to the afternoon sometime. So that'll be the series video. And then Sunday's the same thing, because this week, this week we're going to have 3 on Sunday. So we're going to have this show, which comes out every Sunday. We will have one of the series episodes, and we will have Ben's Challenge, all coming out on the same day. So I'm pretty much going to stick with Ben's Challenge at 8 in the evening. That gives Ben a chance to watch it too from where he is. And the series one generally comes out midday, so maybe the series video will come out in the morning as the same as the other ones. Depends on when I get up, you know. Today was a tough day getting up. My back was a bit sore, but I'm good. Anyways, I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I hope this gives you a kind of a rundown of what's going to be happening on the show. I know one guy has asked me about the next battle of the call it Battle of the Bands, but it's actually called Album Cage Match. I'm thinking I was going to do it next Saturday, but it looks like there's a prior engagement which will interfere with possibly doing that. So I may do it the following Saturday, which would be be the 4th Saturday of the month. So, but it'll be announced on this week before, plenty of time before the show. So for this week we're doing Ben's challenge. Possibly next week or the week after we will do the album cage match. And yeah, so anyways, I hope this helps you decide which shows you would like to watch and which ones maybe you can put off till later, or kind of help you arrange your own schedules. That's the purpose of it, in my opinion. I like to try to help people see me as much as I can get them to see me. So so if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Subscription is much appreciated, helps me in the long run. I think it'll help me a lot, give me more chances for more stuff. Anyways, please have a good day, have a good weekend, and Prog Monster saying goodbye. Did I miss anything? I don't think so. So have a good day.